Hello everyone. This is episode 4 of the ultimate guide for freshers who are seeking job. So let us dive into the topic. In this video, as you can see, we are looking at the second topic, which is the previous placement question papers. So this is something we missed in our previous sessions, in which I mentioned that whenever I was explaining about the other slides, right? For example, on the aptitude and also on the written test and also on the programming skills, we have a section for previous placement question papers, right? As we can see here. So what I informed was this topic we will see it separately under the placement question papers. So this is what the most important topic that we are going to see today. So in this topic we are going to cover the previous placement question paper from different companies, like how the students needs to prepare. This is very important because no matter how much preparation you do using the textbooks and the other materials that we suggested in the previous videos, this particular session is so important. It is like before you go for your university examination, even though you prepare your materials, your notebooks and your study books and everything, before you go for the exam, you revise all the previous question papers. For example, you take last 3 years question papers and you revise all of them to ensure that you are able to write the test successfully. In the same way, we are going to look at the previous question papers from the companies, so that it will be very helpful for you when you go and write the written examination of the MNC companies, right? That is the main reason why we are going to look at this topic. So let's look at some of the major websites. As you can see here, I have taken 4 websites, right? I will try to give the link of these websites in the video in the comment section. If you look at here, the first website is from the indiabix.com. So we will look at this website one by one. So here, let me go into the browser. I'm going to go into the browser. Yes, as you can see here, this website is indiabix.com, and we are at the exact link for placement papers from different companies. You can see here this has different sections for each company, right? You can find almost all the companies starting with alphabetical order, starting from 3A Infotech to all companies, including a lot of major companies. It also includes government companies like Bell, BSNL, and other companies, and also it includes companies like the IT companies like CTS and TCS and so on, HCL, Hexaware, Honeywell, and all these companies like IBM. Everything is available here. Infosys also you can see here. So this is a very good website where you can find question papers and relevant information. Now you may not find the complete question paper in these companies, but what you will find is some of the relevant information and guidance which can help you to really prepare for that particular company, right? For example, as you can see here, for Infosys, we have different set of experiences shared by different people. Like if we can look at this interview experience, right? So if you go here, they are explaining about what was the round 1, and it was online assessment, and the second one was technical interview. So this gives complete information about the different rounds, right? So this one is not specifically about the written test, but it gives more information about the interview itself, right? So similarly, now we'll also look at the other websites which will have more information, but this one is focusing on the interview experience, right? So on the right side also you can see different quick links to quantitative aptitude and verbal reasoning and programming and everything, which is basically is part of the written test. Okay, so by this way you can go to different websites and you can see the information about the interview experience of different people from this one, right? See, as you can see here, this one consists of the Microsoft placement paper, right? So by looking at the topic, you can understand whether it is about a placement paper or about interview questions, or it is sample placement papers. It is this one. If you look into this one, they have really the question itself, right? So they have mentioned, like in the Microsoft exam, they have given 10 questions for 50 marks, and 2 marks, 4 questions, 2 marks each, and 4 marks, 5 questions, something like that they have given, and they have also given the question, right? So this is very handy for people, to prepare for the examination for Microsoft. Similarly, you can find for all other companies also. Just an example, right? For Infosys, maybe we need to see deep into it. When first we saw, there were only yeah, I think it is mostly interview experience, but we will also look into other websites where they have information about the questions, right? But from Microsoft and other companies, you can find questions, right? Okay, so here if you see, this is again interview experience, and this interview experience, right? So many things are here, mostly about the interview experience, where the candidates share their experience, like what kind of questions they asked in the test, and also how the interview was also held, right? So yeah, of course we'll look at the other websites also. Let's move on to the next website, which is the placement.freshersworld.com. This link is basically from the freshersworld.com, right? And let's go to this link. So here we are into the freshersworld.com. Again, we are into the placement paper section. So we have different companies like HCL, Amazon, Capgemini, and so many companies like Emphasis, all IT companies we can see here. So maybe let us look at some example. Maybe let's look at Infosys, and let us see whether we have any questions. Again, we have interview experience, but we also have the whole test paper contributed by Danya. So here we have what are the different questions asked. Say, as you can see here, we actually have the real questions which was asked and posted by this particular candidate Danya. Similarly, you can browse through other one, like if we have, see here we have sample placement paper submitted by another candidate, and we have the whole test paper, right? We have so many questions here which are directly asked in the Infosys examination. See, we have around 30 questions. This is really useful. And also again on the verbal ability test also we have so many questions. So this candidate has uploaded so many questions directly from the written test of the Infosys. So this site is also another good site which you can refer for many companies, not only Infosys. We can also look at another example. Let's have a look at maybe Tata Elxsi. Tata Elxsi is basically a core company, and also we have the whole test paper which was contributed by one candidate, where they have all the questions here, as you can see, which are contributed by the candidate for Tata Elxsi. So by this way, you can make use of this particular website, and they have given all the questions, at least a lot of questions from the examination. And when you're preparing for a particular exam or particular this one, you have to go to that website and choose the company which you want to prepare. So let's also look at another example quickly. So this is the third one that we are going to look at, which is prepinsta.com, which is also a good website, right? In here also you can choose the company you want to attend. Let me look at some examples here. Let's look at some examples here. So here we have, see, as you can see here, if you go to prepare, it shows the different companies, right, and different tests. And we also have different companies like Capgemini, Infosys, Wipro, Virtusa, and so many companies are there. So you can click on one company and you can go to the questions, right, of that company. And also let's look at the last website, which is basically the cpthitsbullseye.com, which is also a very good website. So let's look at that website as well. And each website, some websites may have only the interview information, some websites will have the complete question papers, right? As you can see here, it contains aptitude questions of all major companies. On the top you see different companies like Amazon, Accenture, right? So there are many companies. You can also click on more to find out different companies like Capgemini, Ericsson, so many companies are there, HCL Technologies, Hexaware, Honeywell. So you can click on one company, and you can go to the test pattern section here, where they will give you the test pattern and sample question papers also here, sample aptitude questions of Honeywell. So here if you go, you can find out the sample questions, right? So there are so many questions which are directly from the Honeywell examination. So this covers not only aptitude. You can also find all the questions relevant to the company, like it will include aptitude, English verbal, reasoning, and also on the programming and the core subjects. Okay, so by this way the students can easily prepare for the specific company before they go for the company. Apart from whatever you prepared in the last one, if you prepare for this specific company based questions, it will be very useful and helpful for you. Thank you, students. I will catch you in another video. Bye.